Hey kids, hey, just wanted to see how you were doing. I figured this week I'm just going to give you one assignment. This is kind of weird. I'm trying to film myself here with this iPad and I keep looking off to the side. Um, Hope all of you are doing well. I want to do one assignment this week. This assignment, I'm going to have you do a couple things at your house. I tried to think of something that wouldn't cost you any money, just some couple things you can do around the house. Hopefully, we'll get back next week, and if we do, obviously we'll get right back into the shop. So for this week, I'm just going to have this one assignment, and I'm going to make it due on Sunday. So one of the first things I want you to do is I want you to go to your furnace. One of the biggest things this time of year is, our furnaces are running all the time. And, some of you might not even have a furnace. You may heat with wood, I'm not sure. But one of the biggest parts of our furnace is the actual filter. That's a maintenance thing that we should do actually every month. Some of you may have a furnace that requires you to change your filters every 6 months. Some of them are different. Some of them might not even have a filter. They might have what's called an electrostatic filter where you have to actually hose it out. But for most of us, we have a filter. And what that filter does basically, if you think about it, you wear masks a lot now. And when you have a mask over your face, it's harder to breathe. So basically with our furnace, what it does is it takes the air from your house and it circulates it back through, and then it reheats or cools the air. So what the filter does is it kind of traps all the dust and particles, allergens. And if some of you right now are experiencing a lot of allergy symptoms, a lot of that can be from your furnace filter. So they recommend that you change the filter once a month. Some of them are a little more expensive at say every 3 months, but it's just a good practice. And when you have a clean filter, it makes your furnace run a lot more efficiently. So that's something that you want to do this time of year, and actually all year long. You want to make sure that your furnace filters are changed. So your first assignment this week is to go find your furnace and check and figure out when the last time that filter was changed. And a little thing you can do, if you kind of forget, you can always take a Sharpie or a permanent marker or something that shows up, and you can actually write the date that you changed the filter. Or if you have one that, every 6 months, you can put a little notepad on top of the furnace or somewhere close, and you can write down the date that you changed it. Or, if you have the electrostatic one, you can, write down when you washed it out last. So that's something I'd like you to do. I'd like you to go to your furnace, and I would like you to figure out when that filter was last changed, okay? For your second thing, this time of year, obviously, when it's cold outside, believe it or not, about 30% or more of the heat that's lost in our homes goes out your windows and doors. So kind of inspect your front door, back door, any door that you have that's an exterior outside door, and just kind of put your hand up to it and feel and see if there's any cold air coming in your house. That's another thing you can do. You can go to Lowe's or the Home Depot, any hardware store, Busy Beaver in Moundsville, and you can buy weather stripping. And that's a little cheap fix you can do, and that'll definitely help your house just by, putting a little new weather stripping on if it's bad. There's all different kinds you can get, and that's a little cheap fix you can do that's ultimately going to save you money and keep your house warmer. So, maybe run around, check your windows also, see if there's any cold air. I know sometimes when you have older windows, a lot of times, they're just not as efficient as these newer ones. So, if you have older windows, they even make plastic kits you can put over the windows. You can actually use a hairdryer, I think, with some of these kits, and you can actually seal it to keep the cold air from coming in, and that does help a lot. So that's your second assignment. So 2 of 3. And, go to your doors, windows, check them, and then, you might need to get some weather stripping if that's something that you would want to do as a little project. I'm not saying you have to do it. I just want you to check. Now, the third thing, one of the biggest things this time of year we have to worry about with these colder temperatures is our plumbing freezing. And one of the biggest things and places that can happen is your outside spigots. Make sure that, a lot of us have what's called a frost-free one, so whereas, the the spout on it's a lot longer that goes into the house, and the water shuts off to the heated side. But what we have to be careful of, anytime we have any plumbing that has water in it that's anywhere close to the outside, that can freeze and bust and cause big problems. We haven't really experienced super cold temperatures yet, but it is January. We still have a few more months of cold weather. So that's something I'd like you to do. Make sure if you have like a shut off to it, that the water's shut off. Make sure that if you have a hose that's attached to it, you should always, what I always do is I actually take my hose off, put it in the garage. One of the worst things you can do is leave that hose attached. It could be full of water, and that could be another issue. So you want to make sure that your spigots are definitely off, shut off. We don't want that to happen. So those are the 3 things I'd like you to do this week for your assignment. I'm going to put it in Teams. I'm going to type up a little thing that I talked about to go along with the video. I wish I would have done more of these videos throughout the way, but it just, I always thought we would be back a lot sooner, but here we are 2 months out, still remote. I hope all of you are doing well, and it sounds like we're going to finally get back here soon. So once we do, we'll carry on in the classroom, and, we'll go the fastest we can to get as much in as we can. A lot of you with your assignments last week, I heard electrical was a big thing, woodworking, drywall, doing things like ceiling fans. I heard all kinds of great things from you. If you haven't turned all your assignments in, that's one thing I'd like you to do is make sure all your stuff's turned in. The semester is over, I believe, on the 22nd. I'm looking down here at my calendar. So anyway, I hope to see you soon. I will put this in on the instructions and Teams, and when we get back, we'll get right back at it. I'm looking forward to seeing you all, and hopefully next week I will see you.